This is Missy Vincent, and I am doing my persuasive speech on volunteering to help the homeless for Dr. Carl Becker's basic public speaking class for spring 2016. I've gathered you, my employees, here today to let you all know you've lost your jobs. All your homes will be foreclosed by the end of the day. You have no vehicles, all your bank accounts, everything's frozen. How does that make you feel? This is what some of the homeless people have to deal with. This is how their struggle begins. They lose everything. They have no family support. They have nowhere to turn. So the only thing that they can do is survive on the street. They need help with finding other resources, whether that be job placement, home placement, help with food, education, whatever we can do to help, we need to. I'm asking you as my staff to volunteer your time to help with the needed action for the homeless people. We don't hear a lot about homelessness in our community, as we do live in a small town. You hear it mainly in the big cities, but we can still help. We can still volunteer our services for those in need in the big cities. We have a organization called Coalition for the Homeless. It's at coalitionforthehomeless.org, where we can actually donate money to go to these homeless residents in these other communities. They have a Grand Central Food Program, which is a delivery truck that drives around every night and they deliver food to the homeless. They have a shelter monitoring program where they provide shelter for the homeless community as well as their children. They also have emergency drives, which is they have a back to school, which helps the homeless children with basic supplies, backpacks, paper, pencils, crayons, that kind of thing. And they also have a holiday toy drive, which is where the homeless, when they can't provide for their children at Christmas time, they still have toys. If you look up the definition of homelessness, it's not really anything that you would think that it would be. If you go to www.homeless.org.au, it defines homelessness as an inadequate experience of connectiveness with family and our community. Now, you imagine only having contact with people that are paid to have contact with you. It's not a very good feeling at all. There's between 2.3 to 3.5 million people that experience homelessness. 1.5 are children. These statistics came from www.pbs.org. The states with the highest rate of homelessness, like I said, is not our small community, but there's Alaska, California, Colorado, Hawaii, Idaho, Nevada, Oregon, Rhode Island, Washington State, Washington, D.C. This was released by a study that was released in 2007 by the National Alliance to End Homelessness. Again, some of the reasons that these individuals are put into this awful situation is the lack of affordable housing. They lose their job. They can't afford the housing anymore. They don't have adequate help to support them. There's an assistance act called the McKinney-Vento Homeless Assistance Act. It was the first and remains the only major federal legislative response to homelessness. President Ronald Reagan signed the act into law in 1987. This act just provides, there's several programs, job training, education training, provides adequate housing to make sure that they are taken care of, even though they're in this awful situation. So I ask you guys today to do everything that we can to show our support for these homeless community. Just because we don't live like that and we're not involved in the current situation doesn't mean that it needs to be ignored. If there's anything that we can do for at least one person, one family, then that's one person or one family that has to struggle less. Think about the children that are homeless. They don't know what stable means. They don't know what coming home, after school and watching cartoons and eating a snack. They don't know what that is. Now, I advise you to look at your children and just imagine if they were in that way, or if your brother, your sister, your mom, or your dad. So I think we all can afford to take a little bit of our time, whether it be weekdays, weekends, if we just want to donate money, whatever we can do to help this community, we need to do. We need to reach out and show our support. It wouldn't take a lot of time for any of us, so I encourage you to join the team, and let's see what we can do for this community to try to help them in any way that we can. Thanks for your time, guys, and I hope that you really think about what I said and that it's something that you want to do, that you would look forward to doing, you have the privilege of doing it, and it's not just a hassle. Thanks.